2 months ago, Anwar Ibrahim was hiding in the Turkish embassy, accused once again of sodomy and fearing that the nightmare of a decade ago was about to be replayed. A month ago, still free but with smears swirling around him, it seemed his public life was over. Exile or a quiet retirement seemed his only options. But today, he's stepping back into the ring. He's running in a local by-election to win a seat in Malaysia's parliament, to directly face the ministers he believes are conspiring with police to destroy him.
Ini negara rule of law, bukan law of the jungle.
Once there, he believes he has enough pledges from government defectors to join his PKR party and bring down the government that has so tormented him and ruled here for 51 years.
Kalau Anwar masuk parlimen, kami insya-Allah akan menyeberang dan sokong Pakatan Rakyat.
It's an optimistic plan, to say the least, and still suffering from the injuries of his former arrest, a heavy task to visit every corner of this electorate.
It is extremely tiring, particularly for my agent, for my back condition. And after the surgery, although I am able to move,
you have trouble walking up the stairs.
Oh yeah, the stairs is a problem.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I'm okay. But because the schedule is of course punishing in a short period.
At every stop, Anwar makes it clear that he's not just running to be a local member, he's running to be PM. Obviously it's your ambition, but is it a reasonable ambition?
I mean, we have 84 now, and we don't need very much more, and we have had serious commitments on condition that I make it to Parliament. So that is why you can see the entire resources of the government. They're really...
They have to stop you. They have to stop you.
They have to stop. My worry is, I hope not at all cost. That is why you can see me stepping up in security, yes, changing cars, and it's ridiculous.
Across town, a government party man is letting rip. Although there has been no trial or any detailed allegations yet, the ruling UMNO party is running with the assault charge as their primary campaign weapon. In tents like this, in every village of the electorate of Pematang Pau in Penang, this video is running on a loop.
Mengikut cara yang dituntut oleh agama Islam, seperti mana yang telah dinasihatkan serta ditunjuk ajar oleh para ulama serta mufti berkenaan, saya telah diliwat oleh Anwar Ibrahim.
The accuser, Saiful Bukhari Azlan, is swearing on the Quran that he was attacked by his former employer in June this year.
Saya ingin tegaskan di sini bahawa perkara itu berlaku tanpa kerelaan saya.
In deeply religious Malaysia, even the hint of an allegation like this, although denied, should be enough to finish off any candidate for public office.
Anwar Ibrahim.
But incredibly, the polls are suggesting that Anwar may win.
You pukul saya setengah mati, saya bedah belakang. Repair. You masuk saya jail 6 tahun, kurung macam anjing you buat saya. Saya keluar, saya lawan tetap.
The fact that Anwar is still standing, physically and politically, is remarkable. It seems his central message, that the government is corrupt and only serves its cronies, is still cutting through all the other noise. The manner in which evidence was fabricated against Anwar last time has made many voters suspicious of the justice system in Malaysia, and Anwar's ribald humour has made it easier to laugh off the accusation.
Tak usah cakap ini. Jantan ke, perempuan ke, main depan ke, belakang ke. Ini kotornya. Dia politik, dia tak boleh jawab, itu dia main.
But the real key to Anwar's success has been his ability to tap into the marginalised minorities of Malaysia, the Chinese and the Indians.
Macam kita tahu, semua anak Malaysia anak kita. Anak Melayu, anak saya. Anak Cina, anak saya. Anak India, anak saya.
More than a third of the population are not ethnic Malays. Chinese and Indian Malaysians have been historically shunned and silenced by the ruling UMNO party, with its mantras about Malay rights and all the arms of the state to maintain them.
Bila saya cakap itu, orang UMNO hantam saya. Dia kata ini Anwar sudah khianat, sudah traitor, sudah bagi rosak orang Melayu. Bodoh.
After 5 decades of one party in power, Anwar's recent promise that within weeks he can topple the government and form a multi-ethnic democracy, unthinkable a year ago, has a heady allure.
Bagi saya 2 minggu, kita masuk September. Kita boleh terus ke Putrajaya.
And it would seem, despite the lofty ideals, Anwar is as skilled as any politician at keeping in touch with the common issues.
Hari ini sampai Putrajaya, hari ini tubuh kerajaan, esok harga minyak turun dari laut.
Baik, terima kasih.
Do you think the Chinese are supporting you?
Yeah, good support from Chinese.
Why the Chinese, do you think?
No, I think the very racist campaign policies of UMNO now, they get to be more desperate. When they become more desperate, they become more racist.
His multi-ethnic vision may be selling amongst the Chinese and the Indians, but he still has to swing the Malays on board. As he is essentially denied television coverage, he has to do that village by village, and there's a lot of those in this part of Penang. Where are we going now, do you know?
Yeah, I just asked them.
You better know the name of the village,
Yeah.
otherwise you'll be in trouble.
That's right. I made a mistake once. I mentioned a different village. So I said, I was just testing you guys, whether you're listening to my...
Just a joke.
Lawan betul. Lawan kasih isu.
Anwar's wife, Wan Aziza, knows this electorate well. She's resigning her parliamentary seat to allow Anwar to run for it. A daunting prospect, given the heavy price she has already paid for his political involvement in the past.
10 tahun. Anak saya kecil 6 tahun, dah ni dia 16. 10 tahun dia tak tengok dia pergi sekolah, dia balik sekolah. Dia tak tahu pak dia tak tahu mana pak dia duduk dalam penjara.
This must have been a very frightening moment, though, when you heard these new allegations. Where were you and how did you hear of them?
I was actually, I think, in the car when Anwar said that there are going to be new allegations. Of course, it was frightening to think that we have to go through all this again.
Did you have a moment's thought that it could be true?
No, of course not. He has been through this 10 years ago. Embarrassing, and it's not only men, women, he's a sex maniac.
Yes, he's a sex maniac. That's the essential...
That's right. Suami saya ada buat kata macamlah saya tak ada perasaan. Macamlah anak saya tak ada perasaan.
As yet, no details or evidence of the allegation have been released, and Anwar is holding his alibis and specific defences for the courtroom. But one document has just surfaced, lending some credibility to Anwar's denial.
The name of the patient?
R. Sivarasa, MP and Anwar legal advisor, holds the report of the first doctor to see Saiful when he claimed he'd been assaulted.
But this is the first medical documentation, so this is crucial, and this clearly shows that absolutely no physical assault took place. Patient claims he was assaulted with a plastic item no bleeding from rectum, all clean.
This was a damaging leak for the government and police. To make matters worse, the public soon discovered that the doctor had fled the country, saying he was concerned for his safety after being visited by Malaysian police. He has now reportedly sought refuge in Burma.
He's concerned for his safety, certainly.
He prefers the safety and good governance of Burma by
if he's reports. There, if he's in Burma. Yeah.
The doctor may have been wise to flee. The journalist who published the report on his website, Raja Petra, has just been raided by the police.
I suppose when you get thrown in jail too many times, people get to know you.
Not many journalists get mobbed like this when they go out in public. Raja Petra, maverick journalist and member of the Malaysian royal family, posted the doctor's report on his blog, Malaysia Today. Just one of a string of breaking stories that have embarrassed and outraged the government and given him a legion of fans across Malaysia.
Well, he's quite famous, he's quite infamous. Like I said, we can't take him anyway.
And we got lawyers, we've got businessmen, we've got politicians, we've got even people in government amongst us, you know.
With all his papers and equipment confiscated, Raja Petra is back online today with his fellow bloggers at the Sunflower Restaurant, HQ for the alternative media in this election.
Well, what we're doing, we're just monitoring what's happening amongst the mainstream media, the government-owned media. We are giving the other side of the story, as what Sam said, honest reporting.
His honest reporting has seen him imprisoned under the Internal Security Act before.
Well, I've accepted the fact that the government wants to put me in jail.
Now he's facing a slate of charges that could see him locked up for a decade.
So we know how charges can be fabricated if you wish, you know.
After a couple of years of relative freedom, charges of criminal defamation and sedition are now being prepared against Raja Petra, while the cold hand of state propaganda is tightening its grip on the mainstream media. What's this one?
Personal attack against me. They use this. Anwar is a sodomist.
They're saying that in print?
Yeah, in print. Then they make scurrilous attacks and just left it like that. They had one Indian joker saying, well, I gave Anwar personally 60 million ringgit. Yes. And then that's it. So they go on daily. But you see, when they feel threatened, nothing will stop that. There's no change as far as the media is concerned.
Well, what is the situation? There's private media here, though, private TV stations.
Yes, but all owned by UMNO or its cronies.
There may be a shortage of crowds, but no shortage of cameras for Prime Minister Abdullah Badawi. All of the UMNO big guns have come to town for this by-election. Projects, money and promises are flowing freely.
Why is such an important man as yourself coming to such a small by-election?
They wanted me to come, they have a problem, so I come. Even a smaller one like this.
Black or politics?
That's politics. Politics, not only big ones, even the small one. Small people need you too, right?
Are you taking Mr. Anwar's threat seriously that he'll be able to topple your government?
For the next general election, that's the right.
On the election, okay.
No way he's going to do anything.
Thank you.
It's a stunning turn of events that Badawi must now be considering the possibility that he may only have a few weeks left in power.
Hope to see you in KL, sir. Can I catch up with you in KL? Is that possible?
Yes, you may.
I will. Mark Davis from Australian TV. Thank you, sir.
The interview isn't forthcoming, and other ministers are also reluctant to talk.
Coming.
It seems that the government is starting to batten down the hatches as the Anwar campaign stays remarkably afloat.
Are you voting for a local member or are you voting for a Prime Minister?
I'm voting for a new Prime Minister.
Yes.
That's what we want.
Yes.
This is what we hope.
Yes. What about these accusations, the sexual accusations?
The sexual?
Yes.
The sodomy?
Yes.
I think it's nonsense from Barisan Nasional. It's a conspiracy.
It's a conspiracy?
Yeah.
As Saiful's video plays once again, Khairy Jamaluddin brings a certain star quality to the event. Khairy is a multi-millionaire, an MP, the Prime Minister's son-in-law and, reputedly, the most powerful man in the government.
Dan saudara Saiful buat dengan hati yang terbuka, tanpa paksaan, tanpa apa-apa force daripada kerajaan, tanpa apa-apa konspirasi.
Khairy is often the focus of attacks by Anwar and the subject of Rajapetra's blogs. They portray him as enriching himself on government contracts and commissions. And tonight, he's more than happy to repay the compliment.
Kalau ada buruk pasal calon tu mesti kita sebut. Bukan hanya calon biasa.
If you talk about Anwar and his attacks on the government, it's not just been policy. I mean, his attack on the Deputy Prime Minister, for instance, has been relentless and personal in nature. So to absolve themselves and say, well, we're holier than thou, we're whiter than white, stop the personal attacks, I think it's a bit late for that.
Angan-angan nak jadi Perdana Menteri Malaysia. Sebab itu tuan-tuan, credibility dia. This is about his credibility. Credibility sebagai seorang pemimpin.
The sodomy charges form the cornerstone of the UMNO attacks, but there are other common themes as well. Is Anwar an agent of America?
Well, I mean, let's put it this way. His relations with the United States and the United States government has been well documented since he was Deputy Prime Minister. Yes. And he's too close to
Americans.
Is
he an agent of the Jews? I think is another one of your quotes.
Well, he's too close to certain interests in the United States and certain interests that are aligned to certain factions.
Is he anti-Malay?
Well, his policy platform today, if you look at it today, I think leaves much to be desired as far as the Malay community is concerned.
This is about the future of Malaysia.
Thank you.
Hello. I vote for you.
You vote for him?
I'm his lawyer.
You have to vote for him then.
Of course.
Kamar Ainya, a Sharia law expert, is handling Anwar's case in the religious courts.
The people know that this is all drum-up charges, so they are no longer shocked, I think.
Anwar is now charging Saiful with slander. Whether he can overcome the political damage these accusations have caused or not, the Saiful affair is going to haunt Anwar for a long time to come.
So you could have the situation where Anwar could be convicted in a criminal court and Saiful could be convicted for slander in a religious court.
Yes. But we don't think that will happen.
Anwar's legal ordeals have only just begun, but for now he's sticking to his message about race, corruption and nepotism in Malaysia. It's election day and Anwar's party has issued a high alert after claiming a scam is unfolding involving the registration of illegal voters. Supporters discover 5 busloads of people from out of town, allegedly carrying false IDs and sent in to vote for UMNO.
This is the phantom voter, suspect phantom
The phantom buses with the false voters, yeah?
There's at least 5 buses load.
They've surrounded and delivered the buses to the police. But the police arrests that follow take all by surprise. 2 of the men who captured the buses are taken into captivity.
Okay, move.
Within moments of a crowd gathering to protest, the police respond predictably. Whatever the situation, no one in Malaysia would dare stand their ground on the approach of the Malaysian riot squad.
What happened to the phantom voters? They're still in the police station. So they arrested the people that caught them?
Yes.
Now they're chasing you.
They're chasing us away.
I'd get out of here.
All right. Democracy in Malaysia.
Good luck.
Government is fucked.
As the votes start to come in, it seems that the crowds gathering outside the electoral office tell their own story. Anwar supporters gather in one half of the field. The other side is set aside for the government supporters. By early evening, the trend is clear.
I don't think it's a resounding rejection of those personal attacks. Yeah. And the people don't want anything to do with that sort of politics anymore.
Anwar delivers a thumping victory, doubling the vote of his UMNO opponent and leaving little doubt that Malays have also voted for him in droves. A night of celebration, but Anwar appears anxious. Relieved at getting over the line perhaps, but he'd have little doubt that it's just the starting line that he's crossed. Back in Kuala Lumpur, the aftermath of the election has brought a new headache for Raja Petra.
As long as we're still close, I'm not going to talk. No compromise.
The Communications Authority has blocked access to his website, Malaysia Today.
So what's happened?
Yeah, they've shut me down, and then they say, let's talk. How to get you back online? I say, I'm not going to talk, you know. You get me back online, then we talk. As long as I'm still shut. I will not negotiate under duress, you know.
Raja Petra believes that the authorities are closing in on him and others who've put themselves on the line for Anwar. It's not just the government who are now wondering whether Anwar is bluffing in his claim that he can take power this month.
Well, I suppose Anwar has to deliver. He has promised the nation 16 September there's going to be a regime change. No one asked him to promise. No one gave him that deadline. No one said, Anwar, we want a new government on the 16th September. He volunteered that date, he committed that date, and he repeated it. Come 16 September, which is Malaysia Day, if Anwar somehow does not form a new government, I think millions are not only going to be disappointed, but they're going to totally lose confidence in him. Anwar's credibility will take such a beating.
He's resting on this date, right? He's really...
Oh, yes.
Well, you've got through stage one. What is stage two?
Well, we're now in the midst of discussions, negotiations with the friendly parties and members of parliament. And they are, of course, under very intense pressure. For now, it is still very much on track.
Anwar is holding his cards close to his chest.
I can't state the actual numbers for now,
but he has no doubt that his coalition is holding, and since the by-election, that he also has ethnic Malays on board his movement.
It's not a question of not achieving our target on 6th September. The wave and the mood are far too strong for them to put in check, short of declaring a state of emergency or taking some very brutal action. Even then, I would have thought it's going to be certainly quite too late.
The threat of September 16 isn't fazing Khairy Jamaluddin.
Well, of course, I mean, as the date comes closer, there are a lot of rumours, there are a lot of chatter. You hear a lot of chatter going about. But I think we know our legislators better than Anwar Ibrahim does. And I believe that the 16th of September will not happen. And he's staked a lot of his credibility on this, and it's for him to prove, and not for us to prove anything.
It's Independence Day in Kuala Lumpur, and all of the state's agencies are on parade. For 51 years they have marched for Malaysia and for the UMNO party, one and the same for many. September 16 will see whether they're marching for new masters or perhaps chasing down the supporters of a failed tilt at power.
And if Anwar doesn't form the government, Anwar will be in jail together with me.